Saints Texans recap. Put a red ball in my face. Dye my hair. My best friend might as well be a purple amorphous blob because I feel like a clown. I feel like the biggest clown on earth because I believed this team was different. I believed what happened in New England was the start of the future of the Saints. I thought that was week one, basically. I thought, oop, the Saints are all healthy. Here we go. Here goes the offense. What happens? I get embarrassed in front of God and everybody. I'm a laughing stock in Twitter, on YouTube, the comments. The entire city of Houston is laughing at me right now because I came on here and I said, boom, we're gonna destroy Houston. I feel great about the team. I love the team. This team can win 11, 12 games. This team can win the NFC. The season's back on. I believe in the team. And look what happened. We're going to recap the entire game. The game just ended about 5 minutes ago. I'm honestly shocked. I'm disgusted. I am nauseous. There's not enough Pepto-Bismol in the state of Louisiana to cure what's going on right now. It's the same stuff. It's the same exact issue as the rest of the season as last season. The offense is garbage. The offense is terrible. The scheme is awful. This game could not have been any worse. Let's just take a look. If you look at the box score, now I am obviously upset we lost the game, but from a total outside looking in, you could look at this box score and say this is kind of a fake final. You could look at this and say the Saints probably deserve to win this game. If you look at total yards, 430 to 297, we dominated the yards. You look at third down efficiency, yards per play is basically the same. We're a little bit better. Yards rushing attempts, about the same. Time of possession, we're better than. Turnovers, besides the fourth down turnover by Carr, would have been even. So if you look at this box score, totally outside, it should not have been a 20-13 game. The biggest thing we have to look at right here is the red zone. Again, 0 for 3 in the red zone. 0 for 3 in the red zone. 7 penalties, some penalties very questionable, but the red zone is just a head scratcher. I mean, that's where you lose the game right there. Obviously, you lose the game. You go 0 for 3 in the red zone. You go 6 for 15 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth down, and then King Blake Groupie. I mean, it hurts the most from the ones you love. You know what I mean? Blake Groupie decides this is the game that he's going to fall apart. What was he? Missed 2 field goals, 2 for 4. You throw all that together, and it's one of the worst performances, maybe the worst performance of the year, which is hard to say because the Tampa Bay game is one of the worst performances I've seen in the last 20 years. So it really says something. The defense was great in the second half. First half, it was the defense was kind of getting gouged. There was a lot of big plays. Stroud was kind of doing what he wanted. Stroud did throw a pick, so we were right about that. But even that was one of those things where the Saints just couldn't catch a break. Stroud throws the pick. We fumble the return. They get the ball and score. So another, the turnover that we had that should have been huge, we give the ball right back to Stroud. And that's just, stuff like that. That's why I always say turnovers are random. That's a great example of how turnovers are random in the NFL, because the interception happens and then just randomly on the return, we fumble it back to him. So just, God, man, it's just, the defense turned everything around in the second half. Broken record here, but you shouldn't give up 3 points in the second half on the road and lose the game. Look at this. Look at this offense. Y'all can see my arrow, I hope. But look at this. I mean, we scored, it's 7-7, and then we just go on a field goal fiesta. We're just hitting a pinata, and the only thing in the pinata when it burst open are field goal attempts. Just field goals everywhere. You get a field goal, and you get a field goal, and you get a field goal. All over the shop. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I'm done. Done. Finished with the experiment that is Pete Carmichael. With the experiment that is Dennis Allen. How long are we going to let these two jabronis run this team? How long are we going to let Dingus 1 and Dingus 2 walk around on the sidelines and act like NFL coaches? Newsflash, breaking news. Dennis Allen is not a head coach. Newsflash, breaking news. Pete Carmichael is not an offensive coordinator. Get them out of here. Dennis Allen, great job defensively. The defense, again, unreal. Stands on their head. 100%. Amazing. But look what we have to show for it. Another game where we score 13 points. How many times do we say this? How many times do we say you can't win in the NFL if you score 13, 17 points? You got to score over 20 points, especially on the road. It is so unfair to this defense that they come out in the second half and they almost pitch a shutout. They give you three points. They hold Houston to. And what do? Absolutely nothing. It's just so bad. I mean, get down in the comments below. Get fired up. I've had enough. I've had enough. It's just week after week after week. Same thing. You know, I mean, what else is there to say? The 4th and 4 play, that whole possession, that whole final stretch there. Let's take a look at this. Let's go play by play. So let's look at it. Where's the turnover on downs? Or we're at the end here. Okay. All right. So look at this. So Pistol Pete, look at this. All right. So 1st and 10. Carr throws a deep to Shaheed. Carr underthrows Shaheed by about 10 yards. Should have been a touchdown. Shaheed comes back, or should have been a pick, really, but it also should have been a touchdown if Carr doesn't underthrow him. Shaheed makes an incredible catch, 51 yards, boom. So then Pete tightens up, right? Pete does what we say he does. He tightens up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight runs. 5 straight runs from Pete. How crazy is this, right? So we get a 51-yard chunk explosive play. Boom. Run. 4th and 4. This was just chef's kiss. Mwah. This is Pete Carmichael. Absolutely, just perfect. What's he do on 4th and 4? He dumps it off to Skrmetta. Absolutely zero design. Absolutely zero reason. Straight up, just like, here you go, Alvin. We need 4, get us 6. Do you have blockers out there? LOL. Is there any kind of movement? Is there anything? No. We're just going to dump it to him in the flats and hope that somehow he can beat 2 defenders and get 6 yards. Are we going to throw it past the sticks? Are we going to try and throw like a 5-yard slant route to Michael Thomas, who basically has made a career of doing things like this? No. Are we going to get the ball to Chris Olave, our most dynamic receiver, who had a great game? No. We're going to just straight up dump. Nothing to it. We signed Derek Carr, our current franchise quarterback. We go and sign him to a big deal to come revive the team, resurrect the franchise. Are we going to let Derek do anything? Nah. Just have him dump it. Anyone could have dumped it. Anybody could have done that. Unreal. 4th and 4. What a joke. Right there, I was in the game. I was having this conversation. I honestly wouldn't have hated if they kicked a field goal there. My line of thinking is you make it a 4-point game to where if you stop them, which the defense have been really good, a touchdown wins it. And if somehow they get a field goal out of their next possession, you're still 1 possession away. That's usually I'm a proponent of going for it, but I wouldn't have been mad if they kicked it there, and that would have given us a chance here. If everything happens the same, that last possession would have been for the win and not for potentially a tie, even though I think they should have gone for 2 if they would have scored on that last possession with 30 seconds left or whatever. I think you go for 2 there and try and win it. But regardless, like, the reason you probably don't go kick the field goal on this possession is because King Blake absolutely duck hook yanks a field goal into the woods. I mean, I felt like I was on the golf course. My guy just snap hooks one. If you're on the golf course, that's one of those drives your friends hit that it goes so far to the left, it's hitting houses. That's going through somebody's living room. Disgusting. I mean, look, Blake, like, we defended Blake 100%. This is one of those games where he's gonna have to take it. Bottom line, he's going to have to take the criticism, because I mean, you can't do that. You can't yank a 29-yarder like that. I still think he should be the kicker. All good, but horrible performance from King Blake as well. The NFC Special Teams Player of the Week award is certainly not coming back to New Orleans. I mean, just a horrible, horrible, horrible performance. One of the worst 4 quarters of football I've watched. And you talk about empty. They're not up yet, but we'll cover this game. So we'll cover this game in every single possible way this week. They're not up yet, but I can't wait to see the Derek Carr air yards. I can't wait to see the ADOT, which is an advanced analytic. It means the average depth of target. I can't wait to see the average yards, the passes traveled. Besides the long passes, the Shaheed catches, besides that, I'd be stunned if the average depth was more than about 3 or 4 yards. How many checkdowns were there? It's been a lot. These numbers are going to be skewed because of the last couple of drives where we kind of had to run a 2-minute offense, but it took forever for a receiver to get a reception. It wasn't until like a minute and a half, 2 minutes left in the first quarter before a receiver even caught a pass. It's just, man, it is maddening. It is maddening. Like, Stroud was good. I'll say that. I thought Stroud was going to. It's weird because I was right. Like, everything we said was right. Everything we said. We said this is probably going to be Stroud's worst game. This is probably where he's going to struggle the most because of the Saints defense. And he did. I would say he certainly struggled in the second half. The Texans did nothing in the second half. Stroud, threw the pick. He did look good, though. I'll say, like, if you're Houston, I mean, he's good. No doubt about that. We knew that coming in, but the defense was kind of getting gouged on the run a little bit, especially in the first half. That was kind of surprising. The offensive line, I guess we'll talk about that. Offensive line, I mean, my God. Honestly, look, it might get to a point where we need to just play with 4 offensive linemen. Just put 4 offensive linemen and a couple tight ends over there. Just have someone, because Trevor Penning at this point is he's ruining everything. He is. I saw a stat in the end of the fourth quarter. It was like maybe the last possession, but our average yard to gain on third downs was like right at 8 yards, which means we're on average we're getting like 2 yards in those first 2 plays. Or we're getting penalties that are pushing back our third downs, which is basically what was happening. When Trevor Penning had to come in and play, every single snap, he's getting beat, he's falling down, he's reaching, he's grabbing, he's turning into a UFC fighter in the middle of the play to try and stop the blind side from Carr. He's awful. I mean, you talk about, there was trips, there was holds, there was everything. He has it all. I mean, he'll give you trips, he'll give you holds, he'll give you illegal formations, he'll give up sacks. The only thing he won't do is pass block. That's it. The only thing he won't do is his actual job. But everything else, he'll show you anything that can happen from an offensive line position, he'll show you in a game. That offensive line is brutal. And I mean, we talk about the average depth of target, we talk about checkdowns with Carr, we talk about nothing drives me more crazy. 2 things that drive me the most crazy. 1, 2nd and 10 runs. So bad. Horrific. If you're 2nd and 10 runs, you might as well punt. The next thing that drives me crazy is throwing in front of the line to gain. 3rd and 13, throwing a 6-yard pass. 4th and 4, throwing a pass at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 7, throwing a 4-yard pass. I've never understood it. Why are you not throwing past the sticks? And that's where Carr becomes like Mr. Checkdown. But when you watch that offensive line, there's a lot of the times where he has no choice. He has to dump the ball off. Has to get it out of his hands. What a comedy of errors. 3rd and 11, we're backed up on like our own 6. 3rd and 11, Carr throws it into the back of Ryan Ramczyk. Players are falling down all over the place. Just everything, missed field goals. I mean, interception turns into a fumble. Just a clown fiesta today. I mean, I'm just sick. I have the chills. Like, I mean, just gross. I'm gonna have to take a shower just to get this off of me. I mean, just such an awful experience. Ruined my day. Ugh, like I said, this is an immediate reaction, instant reaction. Have to get something out there. I'm going to get crushed. The comments in the lead up to this, I'll give Houston this. Kudos if you're a Houston Texans fan and watching this, because the Houston Texan fans were loud in the comments of the preview video. They were adamant that they were going to win, and they did. They got us. So I'll certainly take my lumps from Texans fans everywhere, especially CJ Stroud fans, because we were saying, we were going to make it hard for Stroud, which we did, but the W is all that really matters. So the worst part of this is knowing that the final is kind of a fake final, knowing that we kind of won the box score, even though I guess you could argue that a lot of these stats are kind of meaningless and just kind of like were compiled at the end with like the big pass and the fact that we were in kind of a 2-minute offense for the last couple of drives. You could certainly say that about these numbers, but I mean, still, you look at this whole thing, you look at the red zone trips, you look at how the defense played, it's not good enough. I'm over it. Look, here's the deal. I'm over it. I'm over Pete Carmichael. I'm over Dennis Allen. The team, we got to do something else. I can't do it again where we have another week of Pete Carmichael telling me and all of you that he's got to be better. I can't do that again. I can't listen to him say, I've got to be better, guys. I got to be better. It's my fault. It's my responsibility. At this point, I agree with him. It is his fault. It is his responsibility, and he's got to go. They got to fire Pete Carmichael this week. It's over. I mean, this team, we're 3-3. Losses to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home, Jordan Love and the Packers, and CJ Stroud and the Texans. Man, I mean, it might be one of those situations where, we might just be a bad team. We might just be an average to below average team right now because of our offensive line, because of our coaches. We'll see what happens with Jacksonville. And like I said, we're going to have a lot more conversations about this, but we'll see what happens with Jacksonville. But we might be in a situation where the headlines for these videos could be hire Eric Bieniemy, hire Ben Johnson. Like it's time. It's time for something else, because this is. I'm done with this. But this team's it's not going anywhere with this offensive line and these coaches. I feel bad because the players, the defense is amazing. I mean, again, the defense holds strong. 3 points in the second half on the road, made the adjustments, and the offense just did absolutely nothing. So, I mean, if you want to watch the scariest movie that during Halloween season, just watch this replay. If you want to watch the scariest, just make you shiver horror movie, just put on the 4th and 4 play. Just watch that for an hour and a half. If someone says, hey, do you want to watch Nightmare on Elm Street? No, I'm going to watch Nightmare on NRG Stadium, which is the 4th and 4 play. Just brutal. So thank you for watching. Get in the comments below. Immediate reaction here. Let me know what you think. Let me know your takes on this. I'll be down there replying to the comments. God, horrible. Thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it very, very much, and I will see you in the next video.